Man, we should talk about our first time we met. How's that?
Yeah, to that story. You've been waiting on this as a dope.
Yeah, you gotta definitely tell this story.
I'll tell my side because that's the correct side.
Okay.
Yeah, so Dougie was trying to fuck my girl. No, I'm just playing. It was fucking... Whose thread was it? It was somebody's thread about shows.
Yeah.
I don't remember exactly whose it was. I think it was Zach Lucy. Zach Lucy's my boy. He's done a lot of production for me, made me a lot of beats. But you commented on there, said something. You were talking some shit.
No, what it was like a mixtape. And it was like North Dakota's hottest.
The Nodak tapes.
Yeah, the Nodak tapes.
I killed it.
Which I was going to name the show, by the way, until I remembered about that.
Damn, that'd have been something.
Yeah. But, it was a Nodak tapes, and it said, like, hottest artists in North Dakota, and it had, like, a list. And I was just thinking of, like, man, so many artists are left off. I was like, there's nobody even, from Grand Forks. I was like, Jansen's not on there,
Jansen's on it.
Jansen's on it?
Jansen's on it.
But yeah, I was like, all these guys are homeboys. And then, like, it just started up a whole bunch of shit.
It's funny because, like, I seriously could not give less shits about it, right? Not the tapes, like that conversation. But I was pumped to be a part of it. It was kind of cool because I feel like in the beginning and even in like the last year and a half, I was never really taken seriously for some reason. Like the only dudes that did were like Matt Becker, Crazy Flow really fucked with me still does, always has. But like a lot of the other rappers just kind of like, I just feel like and it was ridiculous because like, yo, I'm wrapping circles around you, bro. You know what I mean? That's not a shot. That's not a shot. And so I got put on that and that was cool. But yeah, then you commented. I just came in there. I was like, fuck you. I didn't even say anything. Just fuck you. And then he responded. And he came at my ass. I said, fuck you. And I started saying so. And we went back and forth for like 2 hours. And then I ended up going to the studio. And Zach Lucy was in there because it was funny. It just lined up because we already had planned to be in the studio that night like a week before. And that happened. I said, yo, let's make a diss track. As like not an actual one because I just put verses on there. Like I really just rapped on the track. But in the hook, I said like a couple lines. It was like, fuck you. And then we took Doug Dimmadome from fucking Fairly Odd Parents. And I took his face, put it on it and said Dougie been a bitch.
Yeah.
And I dropped it on YouTube. And it was actually like a really good, like I was rapping like my ass off on it. But then I deleted it because I was just like, and I texted you too. I was like, listen, like it's not an actual diss track, obviously. Like I have no beef with you. We just thought it'd be funny. I posted it. And then didn't really squash the beef. Yeah, it was still kind of fuck you, it's on site type shit.
Yeah.
And then I'm working at T-Mobile. And I'm sitting at work one day in the mall, and this guy walks in. He said, hey, I need a phone. And I was like, why the fuck this guy looks so familiar for it? And I was like, that can't be him. He goes, grabs the phone, leaves. I walk into the back office. I go, hey, yo, Cannon. That was my manager at the time. I go, who was that? Who's that guy out there? I'm like whispering. He's gone. I don't know why I'm whispering. And first of all, before I continue with the story, that is a terrible way to have on-site happening. You saw me and didn't do shit.
I didn't even look. The funny thing is, I didn't even.
That's all I'm saying.
No. I didn't even look at your profile. No, so like even when the story goes on, like even we was like literally okay. So we gotta finish the story. Yeah, we gotta.
So that happens, right? The next day I get told, hey, yo, you gotta go work at this store. I was like, fuck, that's where he works. I'm shivering. No, I'm just kidding. And so I show up. We look at each other. Nothing gets said for 10 minutes.
I didn't look at your profile picture or anything. So like I honest to God had no idea.
That hurts me. You don't know me.
No idea. And then he was sitting there and he was looking at me and he comes up and he's like, do you go by Dougie? And I was like, yeah. And you're like, I was the one you were arguing with yesterday. And I was like, what? And you were like, yeah, you're like, I just like trolling people. And I was just like, I remember I was sitting there and I was just like, damn, because this was literally the very next day. We literally had to work an 8-hour shift together. Literally, they just put us in T-Mobile.
That was great. But then, we got to talking and everything, and I was like, yeah, yo, I fuck with this guy, and he's like, yeah,
Yeah.
I fuck with you, and I mean, now we're homies. So
Yeah,
like, but
exactly.
it was just it was fucking hilarious because it started with me just being a punk ass, and then now we're homies. But yeah, that was some. Just the very next day to have to work with you, I'm like, fuck it. That entire time I was like, had my fist clenched. I was like, if he goes, I'm going. I don't give a shit if we're in a T-Mobile, man.
I remember I even like texted my manager at the time. I was like, yo, you remember that motherfucker I was talking shit with yesterday and I was getting all mad? And he was like, yeah. I was like, that's the dude they brought from the mall.
Fucking incredible.
He's like, no way. He's like, swear to God. I was like, I'm telling you right now, we closing together.